15 new books coming in October. A deeply reported history of COVID-19, Maggie Haberman's look at Donald J. Trump, stories by George Saunders, Moore and Samanta Schweblin, and more. Breathless, The Scientific Race to Defeat a Deadly Virus, by David Quammen. Quammen's deeply reported book gives the story of COVID-19, including portraits of the experts and heath care workers fighting it. The author of Spillover, Animal Infections and the Next Human Pandemic, he focuses this time on the science of COVID as well as the disease's future. Simon & Schuster, October 4th. Confidence Man, The Making of Donald Trump and the Breaking of America, by Maggie Haberman. Haberman, a Times journalist, has covered Trump for decades. To understand his political and cultural ascent, she looks to his childhood in Queens, New York, to the culture of 1980s New York real estate, and to his coterie of advisors, including Cohn and Rudy Giuliani. Penguin Press, October 4th. Demon Copperhead, by Barbara Kingsolver. In her new novel, the author of The Poisonwood Bible borrows from Charles Dickens' David Copperfield to tell the story of an Appalachian boy. Harper, October 18th. The Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man, a memoir, by Paul Newman. Newman, who died in 2008, left behind recorded conversations about his life, which have been turned into a posthumous autobiography of sorts. His daughters participated in the project, which features Newman's reflections on parenthood, his career and marriage. Knopf, October 18th. Illuminations, Stories, by Alan Moore. Best known as the author of the Watchmen series, Moore retired from comics a few years ago. Now he is releasing his first story collection, a showcase for many of his signature themes. Bloomsbury, October 11th. Liberation Day, Stories, by George Saunders. Saunders built a following for his surrealist, funny and moral stories, and returns to the form with this collection. Selections leap from the health-themed section of an amusement park to a reckoning between two women during a hailstorm, with plenty of weirdness in between. Several of the stories have been published in The New Yorker. Random House, October 18th. Our Missing Hearts, by Celeste Ng. Bird, a Chinese-American adolescent, is living a dystopian existence. The United States is grappling with an uptick in hate crimes and violence targeting Asians as it enforces strict policies to uphold American culture. And there's grief at home, too, as he mourns his missing mother and his father, a librarian, struggles in a country where books are pulped and turned into toilet paper. As our reviewer, Stephen King, put it, the novel's chief preoccupations are the power of words, the power of stories and the persistence of memory. Penguin Press, October 4th. The Passenger, by Cormac McCarthy. McCarthy's first novel since The Road, 2006, tells the story of two siblings grappling with family guilt. Their father helped to invent the atom bomb, and obsessive love for each other. A companion book, Stella Maris, will arrive in December. Knopf, October 25th. Rap Capital, an Atlanta Story, by Joe Coscarelli. A Times reporter who focuses on pop music, Coscarelli looks at Atlanta's outsized influence on modern rap, and how racism and economic exploitation shape its culture. Simon & Schuster, October 18th. Readme.txt, a memoir, by Chelsea Manning. Manning, a former Army intelligence analyst, became known after sharing classified documents about American military operations with WikiLeaks. This autobiography links those efforts to her fight for equal rights as a trans woman, and reaches back to her childhood to tell her story. Farrar, Straus and Giroux, October 18th. Madly, Deeply, The Diaries of Alan Rickman, by Alan Rickman. Beloved for his roles in Love Actually and Die Hard, and as Professor Snape in the Harry Potter movies, Rickman, who died in 2016, also kept a diary for over 20 years. Readers will find his thoughts on acting in the theater, of course, but also politics and friendship. Henry Holt, October 18th. 7 Empty Houses, by Samanta Schweblin. Translated by Megan McDowell. Schweblin's previous book, Little Eyes, was an unsettling domestic thriller which imagined robotic pets controlled by users miles away who could surveil their hosts. Now, in Linked Stories, she returns to the theme, with each selection focusing on a disturbance, emotional, paranormal, inside the home. Riverhead, October 18. The Song of the Cell, An Exploration of Medicine and the New Human, by Siddhartha Mukherjee. Mukherjee's 2011 book, The Emperor of All Maladies, A Wide-Ranging History of Cancer, won the Pulitzer Prize. In this forthcoming book, the author, who is an oncologist and academic, brings to life the history of cells and their importance to understanding human biology. Scribner, October 25. Uphill, a Memoir, by Jemel Hill. A sports journalist at The Atlantic, Hill reflects on her childhood and career, including her 2017 suspension from ESPN after she criticized the politics of the Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, and called President Trump a white supremacist. Henry Holt, October 25. When McKinsey Comes to Town, The Hidden Influence of the World's Most Powerful Consulting Firm, by Walt Bogdanich and Michael Forsyth. A years-long investigation of the global consulting firm by 2 Times reporters exposes some of the company's secret deals, including its role in the opioid crisis. Doubleday, October 4.